It's 2025, and I bet you have some New Year's resolutions. You want to self-improve because you have goals in your finances, your career, your healthy habits, your fitness, your hobbies. But the problem is, I can guarantee that those goals are the same ones that you had in 2024. And I know this because why would you click on a video about consistency? It's because last year you failed at being disciplined and consistent towards your goals. But the thing is, if you don't change your approach on how you're going to achieve your goals, you're going to keep getting the same results, which is always self-sabotaging and being in a negative, toxic loop of making small amount of progress and then failing and then feeling bad and taking 10 steps behind and then having to start all over again. You need to make a drastic change in your life if you want to see different results. And if you want the hack to make the most change so you can finally be disciplined, I have it for you. But I have to warn you that this takes courage, it takes effort, and it takes patience. The hack that will allow you to have undeniable and remarkable consistency in your self-improvement is to build your personal brand online. I come on here to tell you this because I know it works. I want to be someone that gives you tons of value. So why would I give you something that is not really going to work for you? I know that this advice is revolutionary, so please listen to me and follow my advice that you need to prioritize your personal brand. Personally, 2024 has been the best year for me. That's where I've seen the most changes, the most growth, the most fulfillment and peace. And it's not a coincidence that this is the only year that I have been successfully consistent posting on YouTube from the beginning to the end. Building your personal brand, your online presence is the key for you to actually reach your potential, for you to actually stay disciplined and see the most growth and the most impact for yourself. And I know that that's what you want. You're on self-improvement because you want a fulfilling life. You want to have meaning. You want success. And I promise you, the moment that you commit to showing up online and tell the world who you are, what you've learned, how you can give value to others, you will see it is easy to be disciplined and it is easy to see growth, not only in your personal life, but in every aspect of your life. So for the remaining of the video, I'm going to explain what a personal brand is, how building one is the key to your self-improvement, and then finally, I'm going to give you a little bit of insights on how to build your own personal brand. So let's get into it. What is a personal brand? To put it in the most simple terms, a personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And whether you've been intentionally creating one or not, we all have a personal brand. The thing that you have to understand is that you actually have the power to decide what you want people to think about you. With your body language, with your voice, with the words that you say, and the way that you present yourself online, it's a way to influence what people think about you. There are some people in the self-improvement niche that it's very obvious what they stand for because they have a strong personal brand. Mel Robbins, she's all about overcoming procrastination. Joe Dispenza, it's all about rewiring your brain for personal transformation. Tony Robbins, he's super motivational and it's all about the mindset shifts and peak performance strategies. Those people actively created their personal brand to make sure that people knew them for what they wanted to be known for. If you're a returning subscriber, what do you think about me? When you think about Bianca St. George, what words come to your mind? It could be professional athlete, it could be motivational, it could be disciplined, giving, intense. There are words that you associate with me, but do you realize that I have been the one that purposefully created that? I am coming online to give a version of me that I want you to see of me. And it's not that the version that I give you is not who I am. It's actually the opposite. It's exactly who I am, but I decide the part of me that I want to show. If you haven't noticed, I haven't really been goofy on my YouTube channel. I haven't been really funny. But in my personal life, I'm someone that is extremely laid back and goofy. I don't want to be like I'm the funniest person I know, but like I love having a good time and I love laughing and making fun of things. And it's just a part of me that I do not show online, because that's not the brand that I want to create for myself. Online, I want to be someone that is trusted, that is giving value about how to be disciplined, that is showing that self-improvement is key to personal fulfillment. That is the brand that I'm trying to create around myself. In my personal life, I can be all the other versions that I am, but online, I am building a personal brand because I want you to think of me a certain way. Now, how does personal branding tie into self-improvement? How does creating a personal brand hold you accountable to self-improvement? So let me track back a little bit and ask you, why do you want to self-improve in the first place? And that's a question that I asked on my private community on Skool. It's a question I asked a while ago, and I asked them to dig deep and answer truthfully. Why do you want to self-improve? And the answers, they were pretty wholesome and sweet. I want to self-improve because I want to be healthy. I want to have self-love, self-acceptance. I want to gain confidence. And that's all good. But people don't realize that they're actually kind of lying to themselves. It's partially true, but that's not the deepest reason why they want to self-improve. And then they wonder why they can't stay disciplined, why they keep failing, why they keep succumbing to their temptations and bad habits. It's because they don't know why they want to self-improve. They don't have a strong enough why. And remember the quote, "He who has a why can endure any how." If you don't have a strong why, it will be impossible for you to overcome the daily challenges and efforts to self-improve because you don't really have a strong reason why to do it. Why would you want to keep facing your fears, your pains, your flaws if it doesn't feel an authentic desire that you want to do it? And here's a good news for you, because I'm going to tell you the actual reason why they want to self-improve and why you want to self-improve and why I want to self-improve, because we all have the same reason. I'm telling you, we all have the same reason. The real reason why you, me, and everyone on self-improvement want to self-improve is because we're good human beings and we're meant to serve others. Think about it. You want to self-improve because you want to be the best you possible. But when you become the best version of you, it's not like it only benefits you. It's not as selfish as you think. When you become the best you, it's because you want to be the best you to impact others in a positive way. You becoming the best you is so much bigger than yourself. It's how it influences all the people around you. Ultimately, we want to self-improve because it is a way for us to be more connected to each other, to help each other, to be of service to humanity. So self-improvement is technically not really about you. It's about how you are meant to impact other people, how your growth will be relatable and useful and of value to people in similar situations than you. Because ultimately, I know you want to become the highest version of yourself and reach your potential because you want to have fulfillment in your life. And that's beautiful. I'm so glad that you and I are both on this journey because we are aware enough to know that we are responsible to reach our highest potential and that good things come from doing that. But the thing is, personal fulfillment comes from contributing to the world. It comes from participating in something bigger than you. So this is how personal branding automatically makes you self-improve. It's because you feel a personal responsibility to share with others what you've learned and you give value to others. It literally holds you accountable to improve and grow because you feel like you have a duty to serve other people. And when you serve other people, it's usually the old version of you. It's you yesterday. It's you a year ago. It's the person that you were that had so much pain that you've actually found a way to overcome, and the growth that you've made is valuable to someone else because they're probably in the same shoes that you were a year ago. Developing my personal brand has been the hack to my self-improvement because it allowed me to stay disciplined on myself since I gave myself the expectation that other people were reliant on my growth. Committing to coming online and tell others what I've been learning has forced me to stay consistent with what I do because I knew that other people were going to watch and they would want to know how I've overcome things. And you'll see it will give you a sense of purpose, of meaning. It will be so much more powerful than I want to be healthier, I want to make money, because you will have a deeper core purpose of why you're doing something. So every time I had a problem in my life, I got almost excited because I was like, okay, let me problem solve this, find a way to overcome this, journal about it, document it, so then I can make a YouTube video that will explain how I overcame it and I will give value to other people. So I hope you understand that building your personal brand is something that is such a powerful hack. It's such a a tool that no one talks about that makes you disciplined in your self-improvement because you realize that you are participating to something greater. And it gives you purpose and it gives you meaning and it allows you to discover more about yourself. And there's so much more that I didn't know that I've discovered about myself that I wouldn't have found out if I didn't start my YouTube channel. Or at least it would have taken me so much longer to find that out. For example, people know me as someone that is good at goal setting. And that's something that I didn't really realize that was a strength that I had. But I discovered that because I came on YouTube over and over again and I explained things and then people asked me questions and I was like, oh my God, okay, this is how you do it. And then I realized that I'm actually good at this thing. So I hope you are open-minded about the idea that you should start developing your brand online because it will force you to tap into reflection, to keep learning, to keep taking action because you will feel responsible to show up for other people. A lot of times, like self-improvement, you don't have a deadline, you don't have some sort of accountability. But when you come online and you tell people who you are and what you plan to do and how you plan to help them, you kind of feel like you have to do it. And it is so rewarding and you see so much growth. And I know it's scary, but I really want to dedicate my channel to help people develop their personal brand because I know that it's so valuable for so many other things, but I don't want to make this video too long and go into all the ways that personal branding is important. But I just know, at least for self-improvement, if you want to stay consistent, developing your brand is literally the best thing that you can do. If you want to know more for sure about personal branding and you want to encourage me to keep posting about that, please put a thumbs up in the comment because that will tell me that people are interested in this topic. And then finally, let me give you just some basics about how to build a personal brand because it can feel extremely overwhelming when you're starting from scratch. Maybe you've only been on your self-improvement journey and you've gone through ups and downs and you're like, and now I have to build like a YouTube channel or I have to like show up on LinkedIn or something. Don't worry, there is a strategy to this. There is a step-by-step process. And the most important thing is to start exposing yourself to the idea. You don't have to start doing everything now, like just at least getting yourself familiar and accepting that you're going to have to be some sort of leader to a community is something that it's going to take just a little bit of time to accept. So just take a deep breath and just feel excited that you have a new plan and a new direction for 2025. You have a new era that's in front of you where you have a bigger sense of purpose in front of you. So this should be all exciting. So I'll give you the overall 4 steps of building a personal brand. The first step is to know yourself authentically. What are your assets or your unfair advantages that you have that someone else doesn't have? So you have to think about what skills or credentials that you have. For example, I know that I am a certified personal trainer. I'm a professional athlete. I have had a 4.0 in college, in pre-med. Skills that I have is maybe communication. I mean, those skills I have actually built a lot from my YouTube channel, but I was already pretty good at communicating before because I used to do conferences growing up and I would go to high schools and middle schools and I would motivate them to stay active. So just think about some skills that you have and start listing those down. Then you want to think about your passions and interests, industries and topics that you're interested in. And then finally, think about your core values and beliefs. What are some of your most important core values? Like for me, I know it's growth, it's leadership, it's courage. Also think about what do you believe in? What are things that you feel strongly about? What do you stand for? What do you stand against? So the first step is really to just try to know yourself authentically. And most importantly, for all of these steps, this is just like a brainstorming session. It's just for you to get familiar with the topic of personal branding. So don't feel like you have to know every answer right now. This is just a good way for you to get started. Then the second step is to kind of define your brand. So you have your brand vision, your brand mission, your brand message, and your brand personality. Your vision is basically what do you want to be known for? So for example, I've decided this year that I want to be known for someone that is an expert in personal branding for professionals on self-improvement. Think about if you were to be known as the world's go-to expert about XYZ topic, what would that be? Then your brand mission is about, why do you want to build a personal brand? Like, what is your purpose? What do you want to see changed in the world? Then your brand message would be, how are you going to communicate your mission? Like, if you had a message that you would constantly reinforce in your content and your marketing, what would that be? So for example, for me, you need to leverage your learnings in self-improvement and build your personal brand online because you need to lead other people and help heal the world. That is just an example. That's not actually my message, but I just want to give you an example of what you should think about. So just think, if you had to give one piece of advice to an audience, what would that be? And then finally, think about your brand personality. So what are the vibes, the aesthetic around your brand? If you look at my colors and my schemes, like that all plays a role into how you view me. Everything you put online has an impact on how you're being perceived. And this is something that you can control. So if you start thinking beforehand the way that you want to present yourself, the way that you want to craft how people view you, you're setting yourself up to attract wonderful opportunities that will support your vision. The third step would be to choose your target audience. Not everyone is your ideal audience. Obviously, it's something that people have a misconception of, that you want to have everyone follow you, you want everyone like you, but that's not how the world works. Actually, it's actually pretty good to have some sort of polarity. When you try to please everyone, you're just not as authentic because it's literally impossible to please everyone. So be genuine and authentic about who you are, but also ask yourself, who do you want to attract on your channel or on your whatever platform that you want to grow on? Think about the demographics of that audience. What is their age? What is their gender, their education, their relationship status, their income? Also, what are their desires and aspirations? What are some goals that they have? What future do they want to have for themselves? And then also, what are their pain points and challenges that make them not able to have that desired future? So you have to create this sort of like avatar of your ideal client, and that person is the person that you are speaking to across the screen. So I have one myself, and when I speak to this camera right now, I know I'm speaking to you, but in my mind, I'm speaking to younger me. I'm giving you advice that I wish I saw when I was on YouTube. When I was on YouTube back then and on my self-improvement journey, I wish I had a female role model telling me what to do. And that's something that I really lacked, and I couldn't really connect with someone. So I'm being the person that I wish I had. And then the fourth step would be to kind of define your story. And I won't really go into details about that, but there are some things about you that are extremely unique that you need to use to further some points about your message and your vision. So that requires you to look at your life, obstacles that you've had, how you overcome them. You want to have a couple stories that add some depth to who you are. So for me, a story that you've probably heard a lot is that I'm a professional athlete that had an identity crisis when I was injured. So a couple years ago, I had an injury, and that made me question who I was as a person, what my value was as a person outside of being an athlete. And if you've heard that story over and over again, it's because that was something that was meaningful in my life, but also shows a lot of insights into how I became so involved into self-improvement. So you need to know about the stories that you want to present and how that's going to support the main message or the main movement that you want to see in this world. And then once you kind of have an idea of what that brand is, you have to find a way to market it. So you need to pick a social media that you're going to commit to. You want to have one that is like your master social media. For me, it's YouTube. And then one or two side ones that you can have also just to repurpose some content and help you. So you could have some YouTube videos and then repurpose those into shorts or TikToks or whatever, or you could have a newsletter like I have. And if you're interested in my newsletter, you can go in the link in my description. But people, when they start personal branding, they think that they should be involved in all the social media platforms. That is a recipe for failure. You just need to pick one that you're going to be known for on that platform. And then over time, once you gain more leverage, you gain more followers, more money, you can find ways to expand your brand to different platforms. But you're literally going to fail if you try to do everything all at once. And then after that, you want to have like a better marketing strategy where you have a certain pitch, like an elevator pitch that tells you like who you are, what problem you're solving, and how you plan to solve it. And then you want to find like a certain social media strategy where it allows you to stay consistent. So this was really like, in a nutshell, how to build a personal brand. Like this is really, really basic and the foundation. And I could go in much more details, but because this is kind of like new on this channel, I don't know if that's something that you're interested in. So I didn't want to go in too many details. But again, if it is, put a thumbs up in the comments, because that will really help me know if that's something that I should dive further into. So overall, when you define your personal brand and what you want to be known for, and you have a plan on how you're going to execute it, it's so easy for you to self-improve, because you'll feel like you have some sort of duty to the world. You'll feel like you have found your purpose. I'm not kidding. Like when I decided to create my personal brand, I was like, wow, this was the passion and purpose that I was looking for this whole time. When you stop making it all about you and you start making it about how you're going to help other people, it's so much easier to show up every single day and do the work, because everything you learn, you think about, how am I going to teach that? And then it keeps you in a proactive mindset. Every time I have experiences in the world, I'm like, okay, I write it down in my notes and I'm like, that could be good for my YouTube video. It's insane. It's a habit that you create. And I really hope you understand how important it is that you do that, because the world is very lonely. We are more disconnected than ever. And think about the times that you felt lonely, because if you're on self-improvement, you realize that you are not kind of like the people around you. You might have lost some friends because your values simply don't really align anymore. And that can make you feel very alone. And a way to combat that, I've created my private community with like-minded individuals that are on self-improvement to find each other. But you can also participate in that by creating your tribe, by creating your movement, by being a leader of your community. We need people like you that are focused on growth and have healed to help others heal as well. We need people like you to give value, because we need connection. Ultimately, it's all about that. If you realize self-improvement, it's about serving others, which is connection. It is being successful, but not alone at top. It's by elevating everyone else around you. It's to celebrate the beauty of life together. So I hope that you understand that this loneliness epidemic is something that you can participate in changing. And you and I are in this boat together. So if you want to stick around, I would love to have you. You can come to my private community. You can also sign up to my newsletter for exclusive content where I share my most insightful thoughts. And if you want to have a better idea on how to set your goals, you should watch this video that I give you a detailed, step-by-step, a very much detailed video that goes through every process on how to set your goal. So on this note, I want you to lead your life so you can lead others. And together we will make a world a beautiful one, a better place, okay? Love you so much. See you very soon in a new video. Mwah.